You were probably using AI all wrong. Or at the very least, you're not using it to its full potential. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are talking about a massive shift that is happening right under our noses. We hear about artificial intelligence constantly, but there's this really dangerous misconception out there that knowing how to use AI just means knowing how to type a question into a chatbot. But the reality? It's much more complex, and frankly, it's way more interesting. In this explainer, we're going to break down the definitive framework for AI literacy, and we'll reveal the 7 essential skills you need to not just survive, but truly thrive in the AI era. Okay, let's dive right into this.
Get a load of this statistic, 31.6%. According to recent data analyzing higher education programs, only 31.6% of students report that AI literacy is actually explicitly taught in their studies. That is a completely shocking number. It exposes this massive, glaring gap between the AI-driven world we're currently living in and the actual formal training we're receiving to navigate it. We are literally handing people the keys to an incredibly powerful machine without ever teaching them how to drive.
Section 1. What exactly is AI literacy?
So, the biggest myth out there is that AI literacy is basically just computer science. People think it's just learning how to code or build software. And hey, while that's great if you want to be an engineer, true AI literacy, the kind that absolutely everyone needs right now, is actually about the ability to critically evaluate these technologies and responsibly apply them to your workflow. At the end of the day, it's about thinking, not just typing.
And you've got to realize AI literacy doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It's part of a much larger ecosystem of digital skills. It borrows heavily from data literacy, because you need to understand that AI is built on massive and sometimes very biased data sets. It also borrows from media literacy, which is absolutely crucial for critiquing AI-generated media and spotting digital manipulation or deepfakes. It's really this intersection of skills that protects you from being fooled by the very tools you're trying to use.
Moving right along to Section 2, the AI literacy heptagon.
Here it is, the heptagon framework. It's a beautifully clear 7-dimensional model that captures basically everything required to be truly AI literate today. Honestly, think of it kind of like a character stat screen in a video game. To be effective, you can't just dump all your skill points into one single category. You need a balanced profile across all 7 of these sites. Let's do a fast-paced breakdown of each specific dimension so you can figure out exactly where you stand.
First up, we've got technical knowledge and skills. Now don't panic. Like we established earlier, absolutely no programming is required here. The crucial point is that you just need a foundational grasp of how the machine actually thinks. How does an algorithm process input data? How does it learn from data sets to generate an output? You just need to understand the basic mechanics under the hood well enough to know what the tool is doing when you hit enter.
Next on the board, we have application proficiency. This is the fun, hands-on part. It's your ability to actively utilize AI tools to solve practical, everyday problems. This includes things like writing highly effective prompts for language models or using AI assistants to seriously speed up your daily tasks. It's all about moving from just knowing what AI is to actually putting it to work for you to improve your efficiency.
Then, and this is absolutely crucial, there's critical thinking ability. Honestly, this might be the most important one of the bunch. You always have to remember that AI can be wrong. It hallucinates. It straight up makes things up sometimes. Critical thinking is having the intellectual flexibility to analyze the AI's capabilities, spot its limitations, and question its outputs rather than just blindly accepting them as absolute truth. You have to be the final editor, not the AI.
Taking this into the workplace, we have integration skills. This bridges the gap between knowing about AI in theory and actually embedding it into a professional, real-world environment. It's about looking at how your team or your business currently operates and identifying the exact friction points where AI can step in and optimize human collaboration. Basically, it's workflow redesign for the modern age. Then comes legal and regulatory knowledge. And while this is a very messy, rapidly evolving global landscape right now, you need to understand things like the EU AI Act or the patchwork of different state laws in the US. But more importantly for most of us, you need to understand the existing laws regarding copyright and data protection. Feeding confidential client data into a public AI or using copyrighted training data, yeah, that can get you or your company into some serious legal trouble.
But it goes way beyond legality. That brings us to ethical awareness and reasoning, because it's not just about what is legal, it's about what is actually right. Are the algorithms you're using fair to diverse populations? Who's accountable when the AI makes a mistake? And here's a really surprising fact from the research.
Ethical awareness also includes environmental sustainability. AI server farms drain massive amounts of energy and water. Being truly literate means understanding that hidden environmental cost.
And finally, wrapping up our 7 dimensions, we have social impact understanding. This is about zooming way out and looking at the big picture. How does AI change our long-term societal structures? How's it going to shift the economy, alter job markets, or even change human interaction over the next few decades? It's about understanding the massive ripple effect this technology is having on the entire world around us.
Section 3. Leveling up your skills.
So how do we measure these? The researchers used a progression model based on Bloom's taxonomy. It goes from unaware to beginner, up to intermediate, and finally expert. Now, the biggest thing you should take away from this is the beginner tier. A beginner level across all 7 of those dimensions we just talked about is no longer optional. It is the absolute baseline survival skill required for everyone today, whether you're a student, a creative, or a corporate executive. Once you hit that baseline, then you can specialize.
Section 4. Real-world application. This comparison brilliantly illustrates the whole concept in action. Imagine the skill profile of a typical AI engineer. They're going to push all the way out to the expert and intermediate edges when it comes to technical knowledge and application, but they might stay a bit closer to the beginner level on the social and legal sides. Now compare that to someone like a media educator. Their profile is going to be totally different. They'll absolutely dominate the critical thinking and ethical sides of the board. The point is, your ideal shape on this heptagon is going to adapt to perfectly fit your specific real-world role.
And that brings us to Section 5. What's your AI level? The researchers who built this framework actually opened their paper with this incredibly powerful quote from Ray Bradbury. "You don't have to burn books to destroy a culture. Just get people to stop reading them." It's such a profound warning. In our modern age, ignoring AI literacy, choosing not to understand how these systems work, how they manipulate information, or how they impact society, it's essentially the equivalent of choosing to stop reading. It's a voluntary surrender of your ability to navigate the world.
You really do need all 7 of these skills to stay literate in this new era. So I want to leave you with a direct question so you can assess your own heptagon. Which of the 7 AI literacy dimensions do you feel weakest in right now? Is it the legal side, your practical application, maybe critical thinking? Take a moment, evaluate your own skills, and let us know down below. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and keep learning.